from his silk pyjamas to calling Stormy Daniels honey bunch, this was the story Donald Trump didn't want the world to hear. But today, in a New York courtroom, the adult film star took the stand and, watched by the former president, spoke at length about their alleged sexual encounter in 2006. The agonising details made the man running for the White House visibly agitated. Even the judge said some of it would have been better left unsaid. He reprimanded Daniels and the prosecution for the explicit nature of some testimony. While the defence argued unsuccessfully, it was grounds for a mistrial. Her evidence is unlikely to determine whether the presidential candidate is convicted, but it was Daniels who was paid off to keep quiet. And it was Daniels who gave Trump his most uncomfortable day in court yet.
Emerging from his penthouse apartment this morning, Donald Trump lingered just a little longer than normal. Despite what lay ahead, he appeared to be revelling in the support. He might need it. Today, for the first time in 17 years, he faced the adult film star
Stormy, I love you, Stormy.
At the heart of this case. She was called into court not by her real name, Stephanie Clifford, but by her stage name, Stormy Daniels. As she painstakingly set out details of their alleged one-night stand in 2006 at a celebrity golf tournament in Utah. Assistant District Attorney Susan Hoffinger asked about her playfully hitting Donald Trump with a rolled-up magazine featuring him on the front cover. "Where did you swat him?" she said. "Right on the butt," Stormy Daniels replied. Daniels said she asked about Trump's wife Melania. "We don't sleep in the same room," he told her. While in his hotel suite, Daniels told the court she had sex without protection on the bed with Donald Trump. Afterwards, Daniels recalled, he said, "Let's get together again, honey bunch."
There is a lot of risk associated with calling her as a witness, and for that reason it wasn't clear to me that the prosecution necessarily would call her. She has lied in the past about whether or not the affair occurred, and so that's going to be, I think, the first line of cross-examination is to bring out her prior inconsistent statements, very clear statements that it hadn't happened, and how will she explain the fact that she has denied the affair when now she's testifying under oath that it did occur.
After her testimony, Donald Trump emerged to again lambast the trial.
It's a disgrace. In the meantime, I'm stuck. I'm here. Instead of being in Georgia, instead of being in New Hampshire, instead of being in Wisconsin, and all the different states that we wanted to be in, we're not able to be there because we're stuck in this trial, which everyone knows is a hoax.
I am Stormy Daniels, adult film star.
But Daniels has made no secret of their affair, saying how eager she has been to testify.
I'm absolutely ready. I've been ready. I'm hoping with all of my heart that they call me because, as I showed on the stand against Michael Avenatti, I don't need someone to speak for me. Mm-hmm. And I relish the day that I get to face him and speak my truth.
It is difficult to imagine a more uncomfortable experience for Donald Trump as he listens to hours of excruciating evidence about the woman he's alleged to have slept with while married to his wife Melania. And all this just months before he asks America to trust him again with the highest office in the land.
And Dan's in New York following every detail of that trial. He's certainly sat through plenty today. Dan, what then, with your last thought there in your piece, do you think this will mean, if anything, for that election?
Well, look, Julie, so far the polls haven't shifted significantly. I just looked up the average of polls that came out a couple of days ago. And for the first time, Joe Biden is ahead since October, since the war in the Middle East started, but only by 0.1%. So essentially, the polls are still neck and neck, which is pretty extraordinary given what we've been hearing in court day after day. But another poll, talking to Trump's supporters, asked, would you continue to support him if he was convicted of a felony? Well, 80% of his supporters said they would stand by their man, but 20% said they would reconsider their support or withdraw it completely. And I think that is significant. In an election of such fine margins in some of these swing states, 20% could potentially have quite a big impact. And you've got to remember, as he mentioned there in the corridor, he's not out in these swing states. He can't really go out and campaign properly. He's stuck here in court day after day. You can see he's pretty unhappy about that. But also, day after day, the news coverage is just saturated with, as we've heard today, pretty tawdry details about his personal life. all of which is less than ideal, I think, if you were to ask him.
OK, Dan, thank you very much indeed.